Hi everyone, I'm Gianna Bates, and today the topic I'm going to be discussing is how the will to survive changes a person and influences the decisions that they make. During more recent years, rumors over whether or not World War III would occur had become a popular topic of political discussion. But what if these mere rumors became your new reality? Or what about the unimaginable decisions you'd be forced to make just to survive? Or how these decisions would ultimately change and reshape your life? Well, in the well-known TV series adapted from the books, The 100, that's what happens when 100 juvenile delinquents from space are sent down to Earth, which was thought to be uninhabitable due to a nuclear apocalypse that had caused a deadly amount of radiation to spread throughout the planet. Contrary to their beliefs, however, there are survivors, people who were Earth-born, and now these kids are seen as invaders. Caught in the middle of a war they never expected to face, these children are faced to make decisions that no one should ever have to make. Decisions determining life and death. One instance of this being Bellamy Blake. His character is seen as an overprotective brotherly figure to his younger sister Octavia Blake, and this is a really big part of his character. One of his main lines that is constantly being repeated is, "My sister, my responsibility." Unlike the other 100 delinquents sent to the ground because they were seen as disposable, he had snuck onto the dropship sending down the delinquents just so that he could be with his sister. And during his time on Earth, his sister had been kidnapped by one of the Earth-born. Because of this, he sent out a search party, and in the search party was one kid named Finn. During their search for his sister, Finn was stabbed by the Earth-born with a poisonous blade. And in order to save his life, Bellamy decides to abduct the Earth-born that had stabbed him and torture him in order to get answers on how to heal him. So, with a lot of people not agreeing with his methods, something that he says for justification is who we are and who we have to be to survive are very different things, which I think he uses as justification to kind of cope with the fact that he's tortured somebody. And Bellamy isn't the only one. His counterpart, known as Clark, was also seen as a leader of the 100, and they kind of led the delinquents together. There is a place on Earth known as Mount Weather, and there is where there are other survivors from the radiation, and they're located in an underground bunker. Because they've never been exposed to Earth's radiation, their body hasn't adapted to it, and they're unable to survive on Earth, meaning they have to stay in the bunker. Because of this, knowing that the 100 can survive the radiation, they abduct them using a sleeping gas and take them back to Mount Weather. There, they subject them to experiments to extract their bone marrow without the help of anesthetic, essentially torturing them in order to get their bone marrow to put into themselves so that they are then able to survive on Earth without radiation killing them. And here is some of the torturing methods that they would use. They literally drilled the children to extract the bone marrow, and on top of that, they also used their blood as a so-called cure so that anybody being exposed to radiation could then essentially reverse the effects that it had on their bodies. And during this time, the leader named Cage of the Mountain Men decides that they're going to extract all the 100's bone marrow, killing all of the children, and take it because he feels that him and his people deserve to be able to roam the Earth freely like everybody else has. And with this, Clark gives him a decision. Either you let my people go, or all of your people die. So Clark and Bellamy decide to infiltrate Mount Weather, and in doing so, they end up irradiating all of Mount Weather, killing everyone inside, including innocent people that had been in there. So, unfortunately, she was forced with the decision of killing the mountain men, even those that were innocent, or all of her own people dying. And I found that there's a correspondence between leaders and the decisions being made. While overall, everybody is being affected by this war, the people that normally are making the decisions and being affected the most by it are the leaders. And one quote that Clark uses is actually, "I bear it so they don't have to," which emphasizes that she has to make decisions that may be seen as unimaginable to anybody else because she's a leader, because she's in that position that she's in, and because she has the power she does. And because of Mount Weather, because it had killed so many people, Clark was then known as Wanheda, which was Commander of Death in Grounder language. And Octavia Blake, Bellamy Blake's younger sister, which had been imprisoned simply for being born and was literally only in jail because her mother had given birth to a second child, had eventually taken on another leadership role when Earth was once again endangered with another nuclear apocalypse due to flares. They had found an underground bunker, and they actually united the people that had come from the sky and the people that were Earthborn. So she became the leader of everybody. And during that time, they were in the bunker longer than they had expected they would be. And because of this, they'd run out of protein source. So she was faced to make the ghastly decision of cannibalism or starvation, and everybody inside the bunker would die. So she decided to force everyone within the bunker to become cannibals in order to survive. And what she would do is send anybody who would break the rules into a gladiator ring, and anybody that died within the ring would be eaten. So in the end, all three were forced to make unimaginable decisions which their original selves may not have been able to make or may not have made. And it was certainly different to their moral principles and their original characters, since they were all just teenagers and they were all kids, and they'd never expected to make decisions such as these until they were put in these unfortunate circumstances. So the people that they once were gone, and they've definitely changed because of the roles they've had to take on and because of the people that they've had to protect. Thank you.